because these two people are cardinal in our budget. This is also a sign that there's a problem between the honorable councillors and the technical team. I wish they were here to explain to us as to why they are not here. But I don't want to take a lot of time. I am going to suspend this council, and we shall come back here on the 8th of next month, same time. Honorable Member, the council is adjourned for more than a country. Council sitting to lay the budget, and this time the budget setup came in, and we were told we should have laid this budget by 20th. Personally, I went to chairman. I talked to him. I asked him, what does this mean? Because it is being brought forward than the normal one. We used to lay it, 30th was the deadline, but this time they brought it forward. As you are aware, a district, when they are assessing the district, assessment sometimes, in most cases also, it takes in the deadline, it takes in how irregular does the council meet, does it follow procedures, that is following schedules. So when I raised this thing to COW, we agree with COW that the best thing would have been for us to call an extended deck meeting, which was done. In that meeting, I was involved. The secretaries, all the 3 secretaries were involved, the deck members. We even brought in the chairperson of the 3 committees. They were there. And in that meeting, a lot of issues came up. And that is maybe where you got that information that there was supposed to be a study tour. COW had promised the councillors that this time they were going to be given. That was much earlier. They were going to go for study tours some time back, and that thing did not work. So it came in this meeting. It was when it was raised, COW again promised them that this time the money is there. They were going to go. And in that meeting now, we agree that to beat the deadline, they can submit, because they were already time bar. Let them, they can continue. But I told them in that meeting that before we do that, we needed to have a look at the budget, the draft. Because you cannot tell me to lay something which I don't understand the content on it. That day, as I said earlier, there were some ambassadors. I was with my community. I came a little bit late, but I joined them. And I raised that thing to Cow. You are telling us we are laying this budget. The draft, this councillor have not even seen it. Then they told me, we gave them the budget, the papers, but they told me, the paper were given. As soon as it was given, it was again collected back. Then I told Cow, no, let us first bring these copies. They are here. Bring the copies, give it to the honorable councillors, then they will look at it, and we see where we feel some changes should be made. So that by the time they are laying this budget, we are laying this budget with also a bit of the input of the technical team. So they told us, but you people will do your part after the laying of the budget. But I told them, it has been proved wrong that whenever we do that, when now we are scrutinizing the draft, the technical people don't give us time. They have refused to capture any of the changes that the technical team has made. So it brought problem. The councillors say, no, this time we cannot lay budget. Which at the end of the day, when we want changes to be made, during the approval, they tell us we have already submitted this budget draft and there will be no changes. So Cow went and brought the book back. When they brought it, the budget draft, it was given to members. Unfortunately, I came out, I had a call, I came out. When I went back inside, again, these papers were withdrawn from the councillors. Now, what are you hiding? This budget, whose budget is this? Are we not part of this budget? Why are we being denied information on that book? Then at the end of the day, when they submit, they come back and they tell us, you can now not make changes, it is late. So these are some of the reasons why the councillors this time are not happy with the technical team. We have raised issues with Cow, and Cow has failed to solve this problem. A lot of issues have been raised. Even on that day, we raised it. Me personally, I even told Cow whether Cow is part of this corruption we have. Because there are just too many issues councillors have raised, they are not listened to. 4 years down the road, Arua District Council has never gone for an exchange visit. Yet it is taking place in other districts. Why not here? When technical people are sitting for their meeting, they have budget line for everything. They even take tea, they even eat food. But when political wings are having their meeting, not even water. I raised that issue to Cow. Why? Why the difference? Because you did not budget for it. Now we are saying, let us, our input also be there. We were promised we were going to go for study tour. It has not worked. On that same day, when we sat for the extended budget, Cow again said the money was there. I even asked them, from nowhere the money is there. And yet they have told us the money was there. Where are they going to get this money from? Are they not taking council for granted? Are we not going to, are we not being used to lay the budget? Then at the end of the day, we shall be told the same story. After that meeting, I remember Secretary for Finance was here, plus the chairperson. I think plus also chairperson Human Capital. They were here. They were told to go and come up with a requisition. I don't know up to now. That one I'm not talking about it. She will talk about it.
So
what's
the main reason of Adani Council today? Is it the issue of the study tour or the lack of quorum for
For me as a speaker, it is because of lack of quorum. The rules of procedure is very clear. Once you don't realize a quorum, you are not supposed to transact business. At the beginning, if you don't realize it, don't even do it. We are allowed to suspend it for 15 minutes. After you come back and you don't still realize quorum, you suspend. Even in the middle of a council, if a member realizes that after you have started the quorum nicely and some members walk out, you can still adjourn. So it is on that reason that I adjourned the council, because there were no quorum. I was not aware whether there was mobilization. I'm just hearing it also from you, because I have not met her. She will answer that.
What is the required number for a council?
50% of the council must be present.
Maybe lastly from me, how does this affect planning, timely planning and operational sort of things in the district, especially where ministry needs these budgets timely, and how much budget were you laying today?
That is what I was telling you, that we were not told, we have not seen. Just right now when you have come, the secretary, they have just given her the papers now. So we had not even had a look at what we were laying. We didn't know.
So you just went there as persons, not really with the documents?
We didn't have the documents.
Okay, now, I think there's a procedure in the local government on how to approve this budget. Don't you think, you can also guide me if I go wrong?
Yes.
Don't we have legal implications in case the district does not meet the deadline for the draft budget?
Definitely it is there. It is there, it affects. Because when they are grading you, it also depends, did you submit it in time and so forth. And in this case, by the way, if somebody serious took interest, the district can be taken to court. Because they have already submitted, the way we know, they have submitted, basing on this that the council was going to lay. But now that the council has not laid, and yet they have submitted, somebody can easily take the district to court.
Can I understand something, Speaker? You're saying budget has been submitted.
The draft budget, according to what I had, was already submitted.
Without council approval.
Without council approval, without council laying, not approval. Approval is not yet time. This is laying.
Council was coming to lay after it was submitted.
Yeah.
How does that become pro-people budget? Is it based on the council decision that maybe for a sub-county where my councillor is, this is what people decided, maybe in another sub-county, this is what people decided, under the youth, this is what people decided?
No, the problem is all the sub-county had submitted their budget. They did theirs. They laid their own budget, all the 4 sub-counties. They were there when they lay, they bring it here, then they compile, and now the district will now lay it so that it goes as a district budget.
Maybe don't you think also that this is one of the reasons, the failure to avail the councillors with the budget draft? Is it not the reason as to why they shunned this sitting?
That is one of the things I told, that we didn't know what to lay, because what are you laying? Are you going to lay something that we have known? We had, procedure-wise, this budget draft should have been given to the honorable councillors together with the invitation letter, so that they study it. But we had even asked it if it was possible. This thing should have been given to us earlier, so that we can have our own input. Here, the technical people had their input, but the political, they did not have. And yet, they would come up with the excuse that, okay, you are supposed to scrutinize it after. But our problem, history has taught us that whenever we lay it, we now come and scrutinize, they will not make changes. So the problem is with technical, not political.
My name is Bilia William. I'm the District Vice Chair for Arua District Local Government. Arua District Local Government Council was supposed to on 28th of March 2025, laid the budget draft before the council. And this is actually in line with the section 77 of the Local Government Act Cap 138, which talks about the budgetary allocations and the powers, all the duties of the local government council, honorable council members, or concerning the issues of budget laying and approval. It is so unfortunate that the quorum for this council was not realized. As I reached to my office this very morning, I received a call from one of the honorable council members trying to brief me about what has been transpiring among the honorable council members about today's council. That they have been demobilized by one of the ministers and the responsible minister who is supposed to lay this budget before the council, that's the Secretary of Finance, not to come for the council, simply because the issue of the study visit of the honorable council members has not been handled. I tried to engage because prior to that we had sittings, and it was agreed that we resolved in a meeting that this cannot stop us from laying the budget because it is not their budget as the council, but it's people's budget. And the impact which is going to be on the district will be a very big one, because if we don't approve this budget, it will be the whole district to suffer. And we are here as representatives of people. We are sent to represent our people. If we don't approve this budget, because it is our cardinal role as the honorable council members to approve this budget, now that we have failed in this, what do we think that will be the thinking of the community who has sent us here? So it is quite unfortunate that the quorum for this council was realized. When I tried to intervene, trying to call some of the honorable council members to inquire, and they told me openly that it was the Minister of Finance, Honorable Yoki, I hope, who demobilized them not to come for today's council. And I think it was clearly shown on the floor of the council before even adjournment that it was only the three secretaries who were present. The Secretary of Finance, who is supposed to be a member of DEC, I mean he's a DEC member, was not present, and the rest of the honorable council members were not there. I want to appeal to the honorable council members. We are here as representatives of people. We cannot let the district suffer because of our personal issues, because we are sent here to represent the district, and in any case, you are also paid for performing your duties. Now they have failed to perform their duty. I want to say we are going to liaise with the cow. They should not be paid the emoluments because it will attract an audit query. You can't be paid for what you have not done. It is quite unfortunate. So the council today has been adjourned to now 8th of April, but by law we are supposed to lay this budget even before 1st of April, and the approval must be done before 1st of May. And now how are we going to meet the deadline? It is quite unfortunate. As leader of government business, I want to condemn this kind of practice among the honorable council members, because it is our cardinal role to approve and even lay budget. The chairman, this morning when I received the call, see, he was not even aware, because the minister only mobilized the honorable council members, but she did not call the DEC members. The chairman, it was me who made him aware this very morning that I've received a concern that honorable council members will not be coming for the meeting, the council meeting, because they were demobilized by the Secretary of Finance. He told me he was yet going to receive visitors. In fact, he was going to be part of this council, only that was delayed, went to receive a team of visitors.
What image does this portray to the electorates?
The image that this portrays to the electorate is that we are not performing. As a district, as the honorable council members, we are not performing, and we are not actually reading the books of law. The Local Government Act is there, the Council Rules of Procedure is there, the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda is there. Which law are they reading? Because it is their mandate to lay and approve the budget.
Do you think this tantamounts to lack of competence in some of the elected leaders? Because if you are competent, this also, if you have not performed your duty, it is a corrupt tendency, because you are elected there to go and represent your people.
I think it shows a kind of incompetence among the honorable council members, because you very well know that you are supposed to perform a role, but if you don't perform it, yet you are sent here to represent people, which means if you fail to perform your duty, you are what? You are incompetent.
That we demobilized the councillors, that's why there was no quorum. As Secretary of Finance, who should have even been in the lead. But we want to hear from you. Is this a true allegation, but also lack of
council quorum and no council sitting delays government processes. How does this affect you as a leader, but also your people when it comes to service delivery? Let's start with the issue of the allegation.
Thank you. I'm called Ayoke Hope. I am the DLC female representing Arua Sub-County and I'm now Secretary Finance, Planning and Administration. I would like to say that coming to the issue of demobilizing councillors for today's council, it is not my role to mobilize councillors to sit for council. My role as Secretary Finance is to make sure the budget is prepared and it is laid and follows the normal proceedings or the normal procedure so that the budget is laid and approved. I have done my part. As you can see, copies of the budget are here and part of the documents. This is the procurement plan. This is the budget and the draft work plan that we are supposed to lay in today. And then this is my statement that I was supposed to present to council today. So it is not my role to mobilize councillors for coming to attend council or not to attend council. That is purely a rumor, and I treat it as a cheap political method of trying to put someone down. However, I have not got involved in this. If I was personally involved in this, I should not have been here. The fact that I'm here, the fact that the documents I'm supposed to present are here, that clearly means and it clearly shows that I am not part of that. And I can let you know, I traveled a hectic journey to come and make sure this budget is laid. So why it is not laid, it is not a Secretary Finance matter, it is a procedural matter of council sitting, whereby when quorum is not realized, council cannot proceed. And the issue of quorum is not the issue of Secretary Finance. It is the issue of the business, the leader of government business to see to it that councillors are mobilized and council is done. That is not my role. Thank you.
By the time this adjournment was done, you were not in council. What does this mean?
As I said, when we are to lay the budget, there is not only the budget to be laid, there are a number of documents that are to be laid in council, one of which was not ready by the time it was supposed to be presented. So I went to council hall, and when the quorum was not yet realized, I came into the district yard to pick the same document. By the time I was picking it, it was then ready. I was about going back to council is when I realized the council had been adjourned.
What do you think is the impact of this adjournment, and yet the last mile beneficiary is the local person that you are representing here? What do you think is the impact of not having this budget?
One, I would not want to pronounce myself so much on procedural matters of council. Adjournment is an issue the Speaker has clearly addressed. It is a procedural matter. I would not, as a Secretary for Finance, personally force council to sit for the sake of the budget, and yet procedurally the quorum has not been realized. That would also be, it will also have an implication on me as a person and in the district, because if I pushed this without quorum, someone would also easily sue the council for sitting and doing something without quorum being realized. So that is a procedural matter I don't want to involve myself in. First of all, the budget we have not reached a stage of budget implementation, and above all, this is just the process of laying the budget. And it has no serious implications. It is a matter of laying the budget. Laying means you show to the councillors, this is our budget. Can you go through it? You study the budget, and then at your various committee levels, you go through the budget, make changes that you can. Then it is up to until when the budget is approved that it will affect implementation or it will affect service delivery. And I can clearly let you know that we, as a district, even as I became Secretary of Finance, we have never approved our budget beyond the deadline. Even as all this is going on, we are going to work around the clock to make sure our budget is approved before the deadline. This is ordinary laying the budget.
Okay. There is something about lack of preparedness and also documents not given to councillors in time. Why would be, ideally by law, even in parliament, members of parliament or even in council are supposed to receive budget drafts or before they come to council 2 weeks earlier. Why is it a practice in many districts that many times councillors come when they are not prepared because they don't have the document?
Basically, I would say some of these issues are administrative issues that I would not want to make comment on and make it on air. The issue of the process of budget preparation takes quite a long time, whereby some departments submit in time, others do not submit in time. It takes a lot. By the time the council is going to lay the budget, you find sometimes the documents are ready, when sometimes others are not ready. Therefore, it is an administrative issue that I would not want to pronounce myself so much on.
As Secretary of Finance, how much budget were you going to lay? That the Speaker says he has no copy.
As Secretary of Finance, we were supposed to lay a budget of, I want to give the exact figures. So our estimated budget for financial year 2025/2026 has been estimated to be at 33,639,550 shillings. That is slightly higher than for the last financial year, 2024/2025.
How much was that?
The one for 2024/25 was about 31,849,000 million shillings.
This takes me to the aspect of councillors understanding the budget. If this budget copy, let's believe that this council sitting today took place. Do you think councillors would give correct, they would understand this budget and make changes, on a hurry that they did not even understand the document? Because I see clearly, even you are struggling to look for where the budget figures are, you are not prepared, you are not ready. And 3, councillors who come and they do not have this document and it's given on table, how will they be able to really scrutinize this?
Like I said earlier, laying the budget does not mean scrutinizing the budget on spot. Laying the budget just plainly means presenting the budget to council. Then after that, there is no debate about it, there is nothing. The councillors are given time to go through this budget, to scrutinize it at their various committee levels. As of today, it was just a matter of them coming to receive copies of the budget of the next financial year.
Maybe I will seek response from you on the issue of the study tour for the councillors. You have been the finance secretary, and how has been your budget implementation, and how have you catered for the welfare of your honorable councillors?
The welfare of councillors is catered for. It is 20% of the local revenue that we collect, plus a small ex gratia, that is a thank you from the president, that is used to cater for the councillors' emoluments. So that is being catered for. The only challenge we had was that the council needed an exchange visit to learn from other councils how they are running their council, how things are running out there. However, this has not been possible because of limitations here and there in the budget. But in our last financial year's budget, This was catered for. We're only waiting for implementation of which is in the process.
How much was budgeted for this tour?
We had budgeted for around 20 million. This is to cater for the councillors and some of the technical heads of departments who will be part of this study tour.
Has this council ever been oriented since you joined?
Yes, some orientations have been done, but this is a study tour which is far from orientation.
How has the lack of study tour affected the performance of the council in terms of revenue mobilization?
I would say that we would want to learn from other councils or other districts where the revenue mobilization is being being implemented well. So us not going there, we've not been able to know what is being done the other side that we are not doing. That is why we need this tour. For example, we will need to go to districts like Noya, districts like Gulu, where revenue mobilization is higher. What have they done that we have not done? This is what we need to learn to make sure we come and implement it in our district, and we are able to mobilize the revenue the way they are doing, and we are able to offer more services to support the services of the district and to support the transfers from the government with the local revenue that we are able to raise.
Now that the financial year is actually coming towards the end and you had planned for 20 million for this, what are we expecting with that fund?
We are expecting the funds to come, and then the councillors, this is actually the right time for this study tour, because we are at a point where we are going to scrutinize our next financial year's budget. And when we have this tour done before, we will have we would have gained new ideas from the other side, which we will embed in our budget, and we will make a better I believe we will make a better implementation, and we will make better mobilization, and I believe we will perform better in our budget in the next financial year.
My last question, don't feel offended.
It's okay.
Do you have the database for registered businesses in Arua, for example, both small scale, large scale, and even in the production stages?
Yes.
So what is it explaining in terms of revenue generation?
Maybe indirectly, well, what is our local revenue of late? How much does Arua district generate after breaking off from the big Arua? Now we're only 4.
Before we were raising around, before I came to office, we were raising around 400 million something. But in our next financial year's projection and in our current, in this financial year's performance, we have slightly increased to 500 million plus. And why we want to learn, we want to do better. And again, our systems of revenue collection are now very legit, in a way that even if you want information now about our revenue, you will get it. We have now upgraded to the IRA system of revenue collection, whereby every registered business automatically gets they get the PRIN number. We don't touch money. The business is clear, they just pay direct to the district. Therefore, we have that database for all the sub-counties, for all our revenue sources we have, except we have to tap new revenue sources. And again, we have to develop other new revenue sources where we can build more revenue to support what the central government is giving us. So with the registration, with our database, we are on point.